Here's a love for your best buddy, the liver. The least that you could do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver tablets contain high-quality, all-natural ingredients.
Okay, good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Sorry, a couple-minute technical delay there. I hit go live on it, and it gave me all kinds of weird error messages.
I'm telling you, you leave town and things just fall apart.
Good morning, I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Everything looks like it's working.
Okay,
it looks like it's working. We've got people joining. So good morning. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great holiday weekend, as we did. Mike golfed. I was in New York City with my beautiful wife, Stephanie, and we were there for a family event. One of her cousins got married.
Nice.
And I freaked out a lot of people at the wedding party because I said, because they found out what I do for a living, that I work here.
Yeah.
How are we doing on the live stream? Are we there?
We're there.
They
We're
found
live
out
on the live stream.
They found out what I do for a living. And they said, oh, well, gosh, I sure wish I could hear it. And I said, oh, I sure have an opportunity for you to do that. I said, I have a video live stream. And we do it every morning from 7 to 8 o'clock, as we do. And they said, well, what are you going to talk about? And I said, well, I'm definitely going to talk about this.
Right.
And then they were like, oh, what are you going to say about it?
Is this on the record?
What are you going to say about it? But no, it's a beautiful wedding. So we went there for Stephanie's cousin's wedding. Her name is Alex, and she and Alan got married. They met in California, I think.
Okay.
We're in New York for a time, and yeah, I mean, great story, and beautiful wedding. We were in this old pre-World War II warehouse. Not sure what they did in there, but as an amateur woodworker myself, the first thing I gravitated to was this ancient bandsaw that was like a relic in the area. It's like this old, all it had was a wheel up here and a wheel down here and a place for the blade to go through. And that was it.
No safety.
No guards,
whatsoever.
no safety, no nothing. It's probably steam powered or something like that. Anyway, we'll talk about the trip. We'll talk about a whole lot more. We'll talk about what's happening in the news. Unfortunately, the Pope passed away, Pope Francis.
He did.
So we've got the latest update from ABC News on that. We've got to get back, and we'll do our local news right now. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Thanks for joining us.
Cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
See, that's a nice way to start the week.
It is.
You see people on the video live stream saying welcome back. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Diane, and others. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg, back from a week of, I tried to run away. They brought me back.
Yeah, you are in tether now, I think.
So here with Mike Weibel, my co-host today, and we've got a lot to talk about this morning, today, this week.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about St. Joseph parking later this week.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently that's heated up a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
Even more why I thought was a really bad idea why you volunteered me to be one of the delegates.
Parking ambassadors? Yeah. Yes, you're not a parking ambassador? You've decided no?
No, I changed my phone number.
I volunteered you and everything.
I know, and I changed my number.
All right. Oh, you did? Are you really going to do that, Mike? All right, it's 7:06. It's Monday, April 21st. I'm Ken Lundberg. Mike Weibel's here. 57 degrees in Benton Harbor, 56 in St. Joseph, 55 in South Haven right now. Dowagiac, 57 degrees. Same in New Buffalo. Mostly cloudy skies. I don't see any rain happening right now. We did have some rain earlier this morning, so that's why your lawn is wet. Forecast for today, mostly cloudy and breezy. We've got a high today predicted around 63 degrees. The winds are going to be the story. That's going to gust out of the southwest 40 miles per hour. Going to be a windy day. Tonight's forecast, mostly clear, a low around 40, winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then tomorrow's forecast, mostly sunny, a high around 68. It's going to continue to warm up as we go through the week. Wednesday, looking at partly sunny, a high around 73. Thursday, partly cloudy, a high around 75 on Thursday. And then Friday's forecast, partly sunny with a high around 72 degrees. Chance of rain throughout Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But otherwise, it's just going to be nice, warm weather. Looking to the weekend, I see the chance of rain sticks around for Friday and Saturday. but a high around 72 on Friday. Saturday, a high around 60. So dropping about 10 degrees for a high on Saturday and Sunday.
And then that's the last weekend of April.
Yeah, and then it's done. Then we have May.
Crazy.
Yeah, so
April showers bring May flowers.
April showers bring summer.
So what do May flowers bring?
What do Mayflowers bring? Pilgrims.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. Okay. Some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom this morning. Sorry to ruin that for you. Yeah.
No, yeah, it was great. Thanks.
Some
Thanks
of
for doing that.
some of the news we're following today. The taxable value of property throughout Berrien County rose in 2024, although at a slower rate than it rose during the year prior. That's according to the annual report from the Berrien County Equalization Office, Director Warren Parrish.
Looking at an overall 7.6% increase, which is down considerably from last year's 16% overall increase. By far, the largest contributor to that is the market's tapering off. Property values are still going up. They're just not going up as quickly, as significantly as they have over our last couple cycles.
Parrish says so far for 2025, the trend of increase is continuing.
This year, we're looking at a overall 3.46% change, which is down from last year's 7.36%.
Parrish reported the county's total taxable value this year is an estimated $10.65 billion. That's across all properties. Meanwhile, the equalized value of all properties in Berrien County so far this year is up about $15 billion, up 7% from 2024. The equalized value is the number of the county gets after reviewing local assessments and adjusting them if they're above or below the state's constitutional 50% level of assessment. So tax. It's basically what you need to know, tax. 2 civil rights complaints filed against Hager Township have been dismissed by the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. Township Supervisor Izzy DiMaggio tells us a resident filed the complaints back in 2023 when there was a vacancy on the Township Planning Commission.
There was an opening on the Planning Commission. So he wanted to be appointed to the Planning Commission. Well, I appointed Peter Kolovis, who was a former trustee. He did not like that, and so he filed a complaint saying that he was denied because of his Irish origin.
DiMaggio says Hager Township does not discriminate against people for being Irish or anything else. He says the state took a while, but it finally dismissed the complaints.
We finally got official word from the Department of Civil Rights, State of Michigan, that the claims were denied, no basis at all. So it took like a year and a half for them to make a decision.
The Township Board got official word last week. DiMaggio says the township has several people of Irish descent who serve on various boards and committees. And a Paw Paw area business has been featured as one of 3 stories of inspiration at the Pure Michigan Governors Conference on tourism. It happened in Novi. The conference took place last week and featured Governor Gretchen Whitmer as the keynote speaker. Destination Paw Paw tells us the governor mentioned Paw Paw as one of Michigan's standout destinations as Jason Diebler-Love took to the stage to share the story behind the Lucky Wolf. Started by Jason and his wife, India Love. I had the opportunity to meet and talk with those individuals.
Oh, nice.
Both Jason and India at the Lucky Wolf. And they located the business inside the former Paw Paw Playhouse. So they have a eatery at the bottom level. They've got a lot of Michigan crafted items, good, food, good food, and the wine and that kind of stuff. And then they also have a theater where they have live performances.
Oh.
Up in the top of it. So it's a nice reuse of an old space. The Lucky Wolf, they wanted it to be a space for connection through music, arts, and mental health support. Jason told the conference it was his wife's passion project with a goal to create a space that would be welcoming to everyone. Unfortunately, and tragically, she died by suicide in 2023.
Oh.
And since, Jason has continued to honor India's vision by ensuring the Lucky Wolf remained a cultural hub and a safe space for the community. So Destination Paw Paw director Jennifer Sistrunk says the Lucky Wolf has helped to drive growth in visitors, business, and job creation. And the annual Pure Michigan Governors Conference of Tourism says it's a great way to see how they brought together industry, business, tourism, community, all together in one place for the greater good.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So if you have an opportunity, go by the Lucky Wolf in Paw Paw. Great space right there. Okay, that's a look at some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom. We'll talk about measles in just a moment. We've got the video live stream going on Facebook and on YouTube. If you want some exclusive content, tune over there. Right now, sports with Dave Wolf.
Major League Baseball from Sunday. The
All right, video live stream ensues on the WSJM Morning Show.
So if measles are plural, what's singular? Measle?
Measle. Yeah. Do you have the measle? Yes, I have just one.
I chose one
Why do you
measle.
ask this?
I don't know. It just sounded interesting, and you're the wordsmith. so-
Well, and you think about it, chicken pox.
right?
Do you have chicken pox or do you have chicken poxes?
Poxes.
Or I guess pox itself is plural, right?
Yeah, when I was in elementary school, fish, I caught a fish, or there was a mess of fish. Fish was
A mess of fish.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden there was books came out and they called them fishes, the Encyclopedia of Fishes. And I was like, no, plural is fish, singular is fish. It's just how you put it in the sentence. And they're like, no, it's not the way it is anymore.
You want to hear more about New York?
Yeah.
It's dirty.
Dirty New York.
So we get there. Let's see. If you're just tuning into the WSJM Morning Show, I was gone last week.
Yeah.
For most of the week, I was
And if you were on the video live stream last week and it was really quiet, it's because he was gone. And we had no video live stream.
well, I think there are technical difficulties that Andrew. Bill says there was no live stream last week.
Yeah, you nailed that one, Bill.
And my apologies for that, Bill. I thought I left it set up.
Yeah.
But apparently not.
We need like a laminated training sheet so we can.
I thought I left one of those. Maybe it melted.
Oh, it could be.
Maybe the lamination unstuck.
Mm.
But no, so Wisconsin, first few days I was in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And at the University of Wisconsin-Madison,
Okay.
where they had 3 days of training stuff. You know, we
Madison's a cool town, isn't it?
Madison is super nice.
It is.
I like it. I
Me
like
too.
it a lot. And I have found that the drivers in Wisconsin are very polite.
They are. Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but I think everyone else in the nation could learn something from the folks who drive in Wisconsin.
I think it's just because they're so cold all the time.
They just can't move very fast, so
Right.
road rage is just kind of delayed.
Right. It's just now you're not going to roll down the window and yell at you. So they just have learned to be culturally.
So it's not that
pleasant.
they're being nice at all.
No, it's just
They're just cold.
they're stunted.
In the shadow of the state capitol was where my hotel room was. So
Oh, yeah,
every
yeah.
night I could look out like 2 seconds before I fell asleep to see the state capitol.
And
dome.
especially how the Capitol, everything goes off like in a spoke, all the roads.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Unless you have to drive in it, and then you get a lot of stoplights.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I didn't have to drive in.
Yeah. And then after Wisconsin, driving home from Wisconsin, driving to Wisconsin, not a problem.
Okay.
Well, except for in Chicago, but that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Just regular Chicago traffic. Coming home from Wisconsin, it took 5.5 hours.
What?
Yeah. Going there, 3.5 hours. Coming back, 5.5
Why?
hours. Well, because of construction.
Oh no.
And construction and Google Maps took me like, do you want to save 8 minutes? Sure, I'll try saving 8 minutes. It took me out of the way for probably a good 40 minutes, and took me down this road where there were stoplights, and I can only imagine, and I hope that the traffic I avoided was so much longer than what I was able to get around.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and then when I got into Michigan City, it went down on 94, just like out here, went down to 1 lane. Yeah, so we're cruising along, just got out of the Chicago traffic. Happy day, on my way home. Boom, down to 1 lane.
Guess what direction I have to go today?
Oh, no.
I gotta go that way.
Sorry to
So
hear
you
that.
just ruined my return trip.
No, your return trip is going to suck.
Thank
So
you.
Just go south to like Texas
Yeah.
and then come over.
From up that way.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
One time when my son lived in Iowa, one time we were going and all of a sudden Google Maps took us off the highway.
Yeah.
Had us go across the highway, take a right down a dirt road.
Oh,
And
no.
it was like 10 miles going down this dirt road in farm country. Nobody else got off. Nobody else followed us. So that was one thing of somebody just hacked into our Google Maps and decided, I'm going to screw with
Wow.
these people and tell them to get off the highway.
Oh. Yeah. All right. That stinks. We've got to get back to
We
the show.
digress.
It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Cloudy skies with rain showers to start will become partly to mostly cloudy this afternoon with high temperatures in the low 60s but dropping into the 50s. Tonight, clearing, we drop down to 40. And then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny skies, high temperatures at 68. We'll be back in the low 70s starting on Wednesday. We'll also see more chances of rain towards the end of the week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Anything on the video live stream?
Diane said, be glad you weren't coming to Michigan yesterday through NB, I guess New Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what happened there, but it must
New
have been-
Buffalo, the Hamptons of Michigan.
Yeah,
The New Hamptons.
the New Hamptons.
Have you heard that? Have you seen that?
No.
There was an ad. I saw an ad, or maybe it was a news piece or something like that. They were calling New Buffalo the Hamptons of the Midwest.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
They made a good argument. I'll have to show you that ad. Anyway, good morning and welcome to the WSJM. I like New Buffalo.
I do too, but
Okay. Okay, not the Hamptons.
No.
Well, you go
It's
along
not Traverse City.
You go along the Riviera there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. It's 7:18. Good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. It's Monday, April 21st, and we've got a ton of stuff to talk about, including. I mean, if you want to hear anything about where I was last week, we can talk about that. Let's see. We've talked about Boston Marathon, Easter egg roll. Oh, measles. We needed to get to this. So we saw last week that they were increasing the numbers in Michigan,
Right.
calling it an outbreak in Michigan.
Yeah, the outbreak, yeah.
I mean, we're still looking at relatively low numbers.
Yeah, what's the outbreak number right now?
I think it's like 800 over the entire
No, I'm
nation.
talking about Michigan.
Oh, I have to look at the latest, but I mean, I think you can count on one hand.
Yeah.
Louisiana, Virginia, Missouri, all reporting their first measles cases of 2025 over the weekend, with at least 27 states now reporting at least one case. All three cases were linked to international travel. So I think if you think about how it's spreading and whether or not you have to be COVID concerned like we were,
right.
Probably not, because a lot of these cases are being linked to international travel.
Right.
It seems. I mean, I'm no health expert, but it seems that is likely the case. The Louisiana reported the state's first measles case on Saturday in an adult with international travel. That patient also was not vaccinated and lived in the greater New Orleans area. According to the Louisiana Health Department, health officials are working to identify anyone who may be exposed. The patient was not hospitalized and will remain in isolation until they're no longer infectious. Virginia reported its first case of measles on Saturday as well in a child under 4 years old who recently traveled internationally. And let's see, to protect the family's privacy, Virginia's health department said no further information will be released. But they did say the first case of measles in Virginia this year is a reminder of how easily this highly contagious disease can spread. I mean, you think about international travel, whether they're taking a steamship
right,
or they're taking an airplane. If it's highly contagious, you've got a plane load of people now you have to track.
And when they come to the terminal, when they do their standby
in the airports,
flights,
yes,
it's
or the food court,
right? Yeah.
Boy, the food courts were a mess in Atlanta. Because we had to fly, so back to the New York trip.
Yeah,
we flew from South Bend to Detroit to New York.
Okay,
to get this is my weekend travel. Just it's very unusual. It's not like every weekend we fly to New York, but we had a family wedding to go to. Congratulations to Alex and Alan for their nuptials. It was a great, beautiful wedding, by the way. Beautiful. The bride had a very nice modern wedding dress on.
Nice.
And
so the weather was awesome.
Oh, the weather was fantastic. It was close to 80 degrees, if not.
Wow.
And clear in New York on Saturday. And then the groom and his party, there were 9 bridesmaids, 9 what do you call them?
Groomsmen?
Yeah, groomsmen.
There you go.
Things like that.
Yeah.
They had the traditional tuxedos on, so it was all good. But the wedding venue was an old pre-World War II warehouse that, like I said, had a bandsaw on it, which was really cool. But they also had access to a rooftop deck with no nets.
Oh.
And a ledge that was perfect for putting your drinks on.
And knocking them off.
And I was looking over the edge. I wonder how many drinks have fallen over there.
Probably way too many.
But we were up on the roof where there was still graffiti.
Oh, okay.
Everywhere. But you had a view unobstructed view of the New York skyline. You could see everything from, if we had binoculars, we could probably see the Statue of Liberty, all the way over to the other side. You could see the, where the World Trade Centers used to be, where One World Tower is right now. You could see Empire State Building, beautiful wedding venue. And then, so that was the rooftop space. Down inside, it was just old wooden timbers and the little lights that they string across the rafters and that kind of thing. And it was good. I even danced.
You did?
I did. Got my move on.
Is there a video of that?
Hopefully not.
You're shaking your groove thing?
It was horrible. It was horrible. But I was very curious about it was a DJ wedding, right? And so the DJ was playing wedding music. And having been in the broadcast industry for a few years, as I have, about how to do music for parties and gatherings and that kind of thing. So I was very curious, what would a New York DJ do for a wedding party, a reception? It was very interesting. There were sets, basically, or maybe just one set, because the music started and it never stopped.
Oh.
And each song probably went for maybe 2 minutes at most.
Oh, and they just kept on.
And the guy just artfully strung together the beats of every song and just continued this cycle of music going the entire time.
Well done. Well done.
And it was mostly stuff that Stephanie and I recognized.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't, because I was afraid, because we were talking about it going into the wedding. And she said, well, I think Alex and Alan, I think they like country music. And I was like, oh no. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because especially nowadays there's crossover and good mix.
Yeah.
But they didn't go into country. The closest they got to country was Lynyrd Skynyrd, which is not country.
No, not at all.
But it was good. But it was only,
who doesn't like Lynyrd Skynyrd?
But it was only like a minute and a half of it before they went into something else.
Well, I guess at that point you can't really not like the music, because you don't get enough of it to not like it, and then it.
Although I will say there were a couple of times when the DJ really threw a bomb out there.
Yeah.
And like the dancing would stop. Like all of a sudden there were, maybe there were 40 people out on the dance floor. All of a sudden he'd play a bomb and there'd be like 5 people. Yeah. And they'd be,
Yeah. And I don't understand, being at weddings, when that happens, why they don't read the room. And transition to something else.
And that was the great thing about the way he was doing it is he read the room, and I watched him, and he was like searching the computer frantically.
Right.
Like, let me find something better. Let me get them back. Let me get them back. But it was beautiful. It was great to see family. Who did we see there? We saw Joe, Steve, Robin, Alex and Alan, obviously.
How are
Karen,
Alex and Alan?
They're great.
Are they good?
Yeah, I think
tell them I wish
they're on a plane. I assume they're either at the airport or on a plane right now, headed out for their honeymoon.
Oh, where are they going?
Australia.
Oh,
yeah. I think I can share that.
Yeah, I would think
Australia and maybe a side trip to New Zealand.
Oh,
yeah,
very cool.
Because I think one of them is a Lord of the Rings fan. Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So anyway, but the best part was when because Alan is in the a sports related industry.
Okay,
graphics design. He's a graphics designer, and his wife now, she's an attorney.
Oh, nice.
In New York. Yeah, I think in New York. And so talking to Alan, the first time I had met him, and he, I'm a graphics designer, and he also made a couple of films. But I said, oh, graphics designer for sports, any teams that I would recognize. And he said, oh, well, what's your sport?
News Talk Sports 94.9.
And I said, none. I got no sports. I have absolutely. And you could see his face just kind of like,
yeah, disengaged.
This guy. Yeah, this guy. But no, he rattled off some names that I did recognize, including from the golf industry, which I'll have. Who was in the running last year for one of the things where they played the golf thing?
The golf thing? Rory McIlroy?
No.
Scotty Scheffler?
No. McSomebody or other?
McSomebody or another?
McFeebler? No. I don't remember. Okay, I'll look it up. I'll find out because I know I'm not giving you much clue.
No,
but it was a name I recognized. It was somebody that Sawyer, one of my sons, was pulling for in whatever tournament it was. So I recognized it.
So doesn't Stewart do the DJ thing?
No. Sawyer does the
Sawyer
DJ
does-
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Stewart doesn't like music as much as Sawyer.
Okay.
He likes some music, if you can call it that.
Oh, he
Yeah.
has a very filtered taste.
Eclectic taste.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, but he's listening right now, so
Yeah.
we have to be careful.
Okay.
And then Samuel, my third son, he likes I don't know. I think he likes a good mix of stuff, but country I think is one of his
Oh, really?
favorite kicks right now.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, it's 7:27. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. Ken Lundberg, Mike Weibel is here. And let's see, DHL Express. We'll talk more about New York if you want to later on the video live stream.
Yeah.
DHL Express, a division of Germany's Deutsche Post, says it is suspending global business to consumer shipments worth over $800 to individuals in the United States. They're starting today to suspend those shipments.
Mm.
Yeah, the notice on the company website was not dated, but its metadata said that it put it up there on April 19th, and they are now blaming the halt on new U.S. customs rules, which require formal entry processing on all shipments that are worth over $800. There had been a minimum of $2,500 until it changed earlier in April. Now it's at $800, and DHL said the business-to-business shipments would not be suspended, but could also face delays. They say shipments under $800 to either businesses or consumers will not be affected. They say also that the move is a temporary measure. DHL said last week in response to a Reuters question that it would continue to process shipments from Hong Kong to the United States in accordance with applicable customs rules and regulations, and that would work with customers to help them understand and adapt to the changes that are planned. So, you know, again, this is all part of the trade war.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're expecting something from DHL as a private consumer and it's valued at over $800, you may want to check your DHL website to see the status.
You might be getting an email and it's probably not a prank.
Not a prank at all. So anyway, do check that. We'll talk more about that and other items of interest here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got news from ABC. We've got our financial check-in with the Bloomberg Market Minute and our local news coming up next right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Have you been thinking about
Back on the video live stream at 7:29, we've got the Bloomberg Market Minute. I saw that there was some heat between President Trump and Federal Reserve Chairman Powell, Jerome Powell, over the
Powell
week.
plunge last week.
Yeah, and the president was reportedly trying to see if he could
him.
fire
Yeah.
the Federal Reserve Chairman, which I thought that was the whole thing. Is they're independent, they get 6-year terms, they're staggered between presidents.
I think there's a feeling that the powers that be are working against him in these tariff war. They're not being very supportive, and
Oh, the president is feeling this.
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
some of the banks, some of the Federal Reserve, things like that.
Okay.
So Diane says on the live stream,
How would they have time to work against him?
well,
You know?
shift work.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Diane was talking about the new Buffalo, and she said because of the dispensary mess,
Oh.
because it was 420.
Oh. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Yesterday was 420.
It was.
And for those who may not know, 420 is a thing
Yes.
for fans of the marijuana,
Of the ganja.
of the marijuana, of the ganja, of the Mary Jane. How many labels can we get?
Oh,
So
weed,
pot,
Mary Jane,
weed, grass.
grass, wacky tobacco.
Oh, that's a good one. Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I don't know any others. Anyway, 420. Because and that's like a 420 in the afternoon.
Right.
Oh, must be time to
Burn one.
something like that.
So I guess probably New Buffalo was a little stinky yesterday.
I tell you, New York was stinky in that way too.
Mhm.
All of a sudden you're just walking down the street and whoa.
Yeah.
And some people were playing the Cheech and Chong thing where they're just like rolling smoke out
Yeah.
right in broad daylight.
When I was in New Orleans, it was like that. And people would just be standing there, and I'm like, is it legal? And they're like, no, it's not legal here. Like, well, nobody's worried about it. And it's because you have to basically be selling it for them to enforce it.
Oh.
So if you're just standing around smoking, it's pretty big. They can just basically give you a ticket.
Oh.
So
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. WSJM Morning Show continues. Let's see what else we have here.
and then Stewart said, what?
Oh, probably when I was talking about his musical
Yeah,
taste.
that's where I got up there.
Yeah.
Diane said exit 11, there was thousands of people.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you happen to see any of the protest that was gathered around St. Joseph this weekend?
I did see when I was coming back
What did
from
you
the
see?
Polar Ice Cap golf event I was at.
What did you see?
They were back by the administration building and, the hands-off signs and stuff like that. So,
Okay. So along Main Street.
yeah.
My sources who sent me text messages said it was a few hundred people,
Yeah, there was quite a few.
but it was not as big as the earlier April
No.
hands-off protest.
Uh-uh.
And then somebody sent me, I won't name names, but somebody sent me, I think, at least a dozen pictures of out-of-state license plates. And they were saying that these are the protesters who
And it seemed like there was two on either side of the road. There were protesters. And then in the middle, right by the light, there was a guy there with an American flag that I think had the opposite view of the protesters.
Oh.
So there was a little, little excitement, a little drama, probably a little trash talking going on.
Yeah, so it's part of if you look, they've got a very slick website, 50-51, 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. And again, it's one of my Achilles heels. I am a cynic about everything. I'm skeptical of everything being grassroots when they have the very slick websites. And so I think as you look at this either the movement was born of or will be taken over by party folks, and I think we saw that over the weekend or over this last protest, is because the Berrien County Democrat Party was very instrumental in getting the word out about this. Not saying anything other than it just feels very organized,
right?
Rather than kind of a grassroots sprouting up type movement. But I guess that's how stuff happens.
And I saw two town hall meetings over the weekend that kind of ran amok. One was a Democrat from California, had protesters and shout downs, and then Senator Green had one in Florida.
Okay,
and that one ended with people wanting to argue and getting arrested and whatnot. So
yeah, well, we'll come back and talk about
worked up.
More news in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Last week's shortened week on a mixed note. The Dow fell 527 points on Thursday. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
What are you drinking there?
This is tea.
Oh, okay. What kind of tea?
I don't know.
Is it green tea? Is it black tea?
No.
Does it? Well, it's got to be one of the two.
Well, I don't know. It's my wife. My wife has this cabinet thing with all these little tea things in it, and I just picked one, and I was like, "Oh, that smells good." So
what's it smell like?
I don't know.
Okay,
kind of a little bit green tea-ish, but
I'm surprised you can smell anything with as much pollen as you brought in this morning.
I can breathe fine. It's just my face itches, and I'm all.
I'm sorry. I don't mean. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with. I'm laughing with you.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome.
Stuart, he's laughing at me.
Welcome back to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is stuffy Mike Weibel, because he was out tending greens this weekend.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, what'd you shoot? Did you shoot anything respectable?
No.
Anything you want to mention?
No.
How many balls did you lose?
None. Actually.
See, there you go. You're a good golfer.
Well, I don't know. It's there was several times I literally got up and didn't do a practice or anything. I just was so cold. I just wanted to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And get back in the car.
And they were good hits, right?
No.
Oh.
Not always. No.
I thought that was the trick.
You would think.
You don't focus on it. You just do.
Right.
All right.
But sometimes focus, I think, was good.
It's a little better.
But
Okay.
I was lacking it.
It's 7:36. It's the WSJM Morning Show. 57 degrees in Benton Harbor right now. Although the feels like temperature is a little bit chillier out there. It's 49 degrees is what the feels like. I threw it on a short sleeve just for, because it feels like it.
Yeah.
Feels like short sleeve weather, even though we have the air conditioning running in here. 55 degrees in St. Joseph, 55 in South Haven, and 58 degrees in Dowagiac. Mostly cloudy skies. And it doesn't seem like we're going to have any more rain this morning. I think we're done with that. The high today is going to be around 63 degrees. Winds out of the southwest, gusting up to 40 miles per hour today. So it's a bit of a breezy.
So the feels like is not going to be 63.
Not going to be 63 if the wind continues. And again, if you're golfing today, hit to the northeast.
Right. Play the wind.
Play the wind. Tonight's forecast, mostly clear, a low around 40. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high around 68. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, looks like we've got temperatures in the 70s. Yeah, a high of 73 on Wednesday, 75 on Thursday, and Friday a high of 72. Again, we've got a chance of showers throughout those 3 days, but it should be just a slim chance. Otherwise, nice, comfortable temperatures. Saturday's forecast, partly cloudy, a chance of showers, and a high around 60, and then a high of 62 with mostly sunny skies on Sunday. All right, we've got the latest news now from the WSJM newsroom. That's coming up, at least a tease. We'll have that after this from ABC.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Bells tolling in church towers across Rome and at St. Peter's Square after the announcement that Pope Francis has died at the age of 88. ABC's Terry Moran has more.
The world is mourning the loss of Pope Francis.
Fratelli e sorelle, con profondo dolore.
The Vatican making the announcement that the leader of the 1.3 billion Catholics around the world had passed away at the age of 88. The pontiff was hospitalized recently for pneumonia. The Vatican later revealed that his condition had worsened and that he was being treated for bilateral pneumonia.
After a brief period during which the Pope will be buried, cardinals from around the world will gather for the conclave where they will choose the next Pope.
This is the most important thing that they do. So many cardinals are bishops and archbishops and run dioceses, but once you become a cardinal, your main role is not only to advise the Pope, but to elect the next one.
Father James Martin, this is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:38, some of the news stories that we're following in the WSJM Newsroom. We'll bring you these stories and more coming up at 8 o'clock. Another weekend, another protest by area Democrats and others expressing opposition to the Trump administration, following up on the hands-off protest earlier this month. On Saturday, a few hundred people lined the streets of Main Street in St. Joseph for the so-called 50-51 demonstration, meaning 50 protests, 50 states, one day. We'll have more about that coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. The busiest kitchen in the county is changing how it serves its clientele. What's the busiest kitchen in Berrien County?
The jail.
Yeah, the Berrien County Jail. That is correct. Starting next month, the Berrien County Sheriff's Department will use an outside firm for food service at the jail. They say the move will save them about $70,000.
It's going to give a little freshness to 3 hots and a cot.
You're right. So we'll talk about that coming up at 8 o'clock. Also, Cass County Sheriff's deputies say 7 people, including 5 juveniles, were taken to the hospital Saturday morning after a 2-car accident. One car rear-ended another southwest of Dowagiac, according to the Cass County Sheriff's Office. Happened at 10:30 a.m. on M51 near Crystal Springs Street in Pokagon Township. None of the kids, 5 of them in one of the vehicles, none of them wearing restraints. No seatbelts, no child restraints. But
I guess they were all packed in that back seat pretty tight.
Probably yammering and just talking real loud, playing video games, that kind of stuff. Anyway, fortunately, just minor injuries, but they had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. So a note to parents, anyone driving a whole bunch of kids around, make sure they're on the right restraints.
Well, we have the new laws now, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Here in Michigan, you've got to have the different child seat requirements and height and weight and all that other kind of stuff. So make sure you're educated up on the latest, and by all means, at least wear the seatbelts. 7:40, it's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got more coming up. Sports from Dave Wolf in just a couple of minutes. We're continuing on our video live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Tune in there right now for some exclusive content.
The Michigan News Network.
All right. Continuing the stories from New York, if you want to hear.
Yes, please.
Let's talk about the food.
Oh, yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah. What did they serve at the wedding?
At the wedding, it was delicious. We had mushroom ravioli. This was the vegetarian plate.
Okay.
The vegetarian plate was mushroom ravioli. Let's see. Potatoes.
Okay.
And there was something else on the plate, I'm pretty sure. And I can't remember what it was. Oh, roasted vegetables.
Oh,
yeah, like roasted zucchini and that kind of thing. So it was nice. And, you know, I mean, it was good. It's very good. The meat meals were, I think, a nice piece of steak, like a fillet or something like that, and on mashed potatoes.
Oh,
yeah, so it was good. But they're very kind. I love that they had a vegetarian option.
Yeah, no,
available for that.
You almost have to anymore. I mean,
you do. Yeah, you do. Just because people have all the different things you have to consider, allergies and
preferences,
sensitivities and stuff like that. Let's see.
Some people are pescatarians, other people are Presbyterians.
Some people are Lutheran,
right? All that stuff.
We went to a French restaurant on Friday night. Le Crocodile or La Crocodile. Le Crocodile.
Le Crocodile.
Le Crocodile. It was a recommended restaurant from the wedding party, and it was fabulous.
Really?
It was super delicious. And I had more mushrooms.
Oh.
Yeah, some hen of the woods mushrooms, and I think there was one other kind of mushroom on there. And Stephanie had smoked eel.
Oh.
And
I like eel.
I kid you not, the way it was prepared, it tasted exactly like bacon.
Really?
It was darn good. It was darn good. As it had been treated with some probably some liquid smoke, like hickory liquid smoke, and then glazed with a little bit of maple syrup.
Oh.
And it's served in a salad, and yeah, it was amazing. But I think the star was the dessert at that restaurant.
Yeah.
Because typically when you get a chocolate mousse, somebody has, because to save time or whatever, they've used gelatin to get the mousse-like texture.
Right. And you are not a friend of gelatin.
You can't eat gelatin if you're a vegetarian because it's got animal product in it. And so Stephanie asked the waiter, I would love the chocolate mousse. However, only if there's no gelatin in it. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, I think there's gelatin in it. Oh, wait a sec. Let me go ask the chef. Came back, no gelatin in its preparation.
Oh.
And I took a couple of bites of it. It was amazing. So if you can make chocolate mousse with no gelatin in it and still make it work profit-wise for a restaurant,
yeah.
It's good stuff.
Have you seen that there's a YouTube video out of the girl at Whole Foods, and she walks in with her phone and she says, I need to know where the organic ribeye bone-in steak is that's vegan.
Oh.
And the guy goes,
vegan.
Yeah. He goes, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
And she goes, the recipe says it has to be bone-in. And he goes, well, we don't have vegan bone-in steak. And she goes, okay, well, then do you at least have organic beer? And he was
beer.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
And he goes, we have beer, but not organic beer. She goes, you realize this is Whole Foods, right? And he goes, yeah. And then she goes, thanks for nothing, and walks off.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So she couldn't find the vegan steak
bone-in
and the organic
steak.
beer.
Because the vegan obviously means absolutely no animal. You can't even eat cheese.
Right.
And we received
and
questions.
She's looking into a bone-in recipe.
Yeah. No, we get questions on that sometimes. It's like, well, and even from the waiter, because I said, well, because he said, do you have any allergies or any other sensitivities? And I said, well, we've got we're both pescatarian. And he's like, what does that mean? And I said, well, we eat fish. Because the fish, I mean, when it smiles, it doesn't smile enough for it to be cute, so we eat it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But
sad for the fish.
Sad for the fish.
Right.
And as he was going through the menu, he pointed out all the things he thought we could eat, including escargot.
Oh.
Now,
can you eat escargot?
Well, see, I think it's an open debate because Stephanie and I have a difference on this, but we've come to an agreement.
Well, the snails don't smile, so that's safe.
And I agree with that. But she says, no, it's too meaty. It's too much like an animal. So we're not going to eat snails. So I said, okay.
I would think a snail is less like an animal than a fish or an eel.
There's no rhyme or reason here.
Okay.
And so she got snail. I said, well, then we can no longer eat octopus.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's arguably, according to some researchers, one of the most intelligent animals out there.
I honestly can't eat octopus anymore after I watched the documentary.
Because they're so smart.
They are crazy smart.
They're crazy smart. So we don't eat octopi.
So I've been to Florida. We have a family condo down there. I haven't been down there in about 2 years. The last time we were down there, I always walked the beach in the morning.
Right.
We had just had a big storm, and I had gone down and was walking back the beach, and there's all these shells and things on the beach. People are picking up shells. I walk by and look and realize there's all these little
octopi.
Yeah, and mixed in with all the shells.
Really?
Yeah, and they were all trying to crawl to the water.
Oh no!
So I would scoop them up and go
Aw.
out, I'd hold them because they'd fit in my hand.
You sure they weren't jellyfish and you're just getting stung like crazy?
No. And so then I would hold them in the water, and then they would push off of my hand to get loose.
Yeah.
And I saved over 20 octopi. Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'm
Where was
waiting-
that?
St. P. Beach.
Okay.
So I'm hoping when I go back that they'll have grown up and they'll be like,
They'll come.
my kids.
The whole eight
Yeah,
tentacles will come out waving.
Everybody's waving at you.
I didn't know there were octopi off there.
Yeah.
Huh. That's fun. And they were just little buggers.
Yeah, like tiny, like this to like
Yeah.
that big.
Yeah.
There was crabs in there and all kinds of clams.
When the
but-
space alien invasion happens and we learn that octopus are not from our planet.
They're scouts.
That they were scouts. They're gonna come down and they're gonna focus on Mike and say, "Thank you, Mike.
Right.
We appreciate you.
I'm sure it's like Men in Black.
Obliterate the rest."
Yeah, exactly. Destroy the rest. He's the diplomat.
Anyway.
Nanu.
Yeah. That was a good show. Mork and Mindy.
It was.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So food. So we that was dinner, and then we had breakfast. Also in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And by the way, I looked for guitar stores. None of them opened until at least noon.
Well, like, guitar people.
Well, come on, open. I'm here.
Right.
Anyway, so we had breakfast in a I don't know what it was, but it was the restaurant of a hotel.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. It was so good. We had 3 different kinds of pastries.
Okay.
Well, 3 different meal things. One was I don't know, it was like a croissant type thing, but it had filling in it. And one was a potato filling and the other one was like a feta cheese filling in it, and it was so good. And then we had sticky buns, a pistachio sticky bun.
Oh, really?
And then a bagel with smoked salmon on it. But the bagel was flattened in a way that you didn't get tired of chewing through it.
Okay.
Because it was like so fluffy.
Right.
So like flattened bagel bread and smoked salmon. Oh, so good.
Oh,
so delicious.
I love smoked salmon on a bagel with cream cheese,
Onions and capers. All right, we've got weather. We got to get back. Just a moment, please.
Let's go.
And then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny skies, high temperatures at 68. We'll be back in the low 70s starting on Wednesday. We'll also see more chances of rain towards the end of the week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:49. Good morning and welcome back to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. We are just talking about food stuffs and stuffing our faces, or at least I was talking about how I stuff my face.
Yes, and I was just being envious.
Well, the smoked salmon on a bagel with cream cheese and capers and the red onions. Oh,
yeah.
So good.
They've got that cream cheese at Broad Street.
Yeah.
That's the cream cheese with the vegetables in it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
good?
Oh, yeah, it's very good.
Okay. And my favorite thing about eating the red onions is, especially if you're in New York, you don't want anyone around you.
Yeah.
Because, it's New York.
Yeah.
So I just kept eating the red onions. So good. But it was, so thank you to those in the wedding party that recommended all the good restaurants that we enjoyed. And then thank you to Stephanie for organizing and coordinating and scheduling everything where we're going to be.
She kind of organizes and schedules your life, doesn't she?
She does. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
We also went to Dumbo.
The movie?
No.
The Broadway show?
No. There's a little itty bitty place. I wouldn't even call it a neighborhood, but a little itty bitty place in New York called Dumbo. And if you don't know what it is it's an acronym for Down Under Manhattan Bridge Overpass.
Okay.
So we went under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass, and I'll show you. You can get spectacular pictures of kind of the city and the bridge overhead. And there are a couple of shops down there, but just like St. Joe, I mean, they've got a carousel right on the water there. Kids and families and everybody else all over the place. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So we went to Dumbo. And getting in and out of Dumbo, getting into Dumbo because we got there earlier in the morning was easy. Getting out of Dumbo, that is a circus trick in
Ooh,
itself.
really?
Yeah, because I mean it's a tourist magnet.
Have you ever done the gray line, the tour buses, the open-ended top ones?
No,
You haven't?
no,
Oh,
I'm scared
I
of
love
those.
those
I'm
things.
scared of those because I've reported on too many stories where a tourist sticks their head up
Yeah. well,
at
you
the
can't
wrong
do that.
time.
You can't do that.
They get clocked by something or worse. Anyway, no, I've not done that. We saw a lot of tour type vehicles.
Right.
There were we saw the Staten Island ferry.
Okay.
There were nothing but it felt like we were in a war zone because the helicopters everywhere. Remember there was that helicopter that went down.
Yeah.
I think it was in the Hudson.
You did. Yeah.
Just a week or so ago.
Yeah. Tragic.
Killed 6 people. But they were back up flying again. So they just nonstop. And if you're anywhere in that area, you hear the helicopters all day
Oh, I
long.
bet.
So and then we saw the hydroplane ferry, the tourist boats,
Yeah.
going back and forth. The water looked dirty,
A little murky.
a little murky. Let's do the Moody on the Market update. The Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. I heard you got to do a Moody on the Market last week.
I did.
Yeah, was it good?
Oh, it was awesome.
All right. Well, you're not going to do one today.
Well,
One of the stories you can find at moodyonthemarket.com. LMC political science students experience state government simulation in Illinois. This has got to be good. 4 Lake Michigan college students became the first Michigan delegation to participate in the prestigious Model Illinois Government Simulation. It happened in Springfield. This premier intercollegiate event brought together 162 students from 16 colleges and universities for an immersive experience in state government operations. How do we feel about that so far? Illinois government?
yeah, I just figured they're learning that you got to bring your checkbook.
This program is an incredible leadership building experience,
I bet
Mike.
it is. I
The
bet it
4
is.
days are 100% student run. That's according to one of the
way
spokespeople.
government moves is you grease the wheels.
That's the organizers say the only things faculty advisors do during this is coordinate overall logistics. Students do everything else. They conduct elections for executive board positions like governor, attorney general, secretary of state. They decide which bills will make it on the floor for a vote and debate the issues and eventually vote on the bills in session. You want to read that whole thing. We've got it posted right now at moodyonthemarket.com. I was just looking here. The first Michigan delegation to participate in that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Model government. I mean, it's like, it's mock, like mock government.
So I wonder if, like, at the end of the weekend when they were there, did the person who got elected governor went to prison?
Blagojevich, are you talking about?
Well, I think they have the highest rate of governors that have served time
Oh,
is
really?
Illinois. Yeah. I'll look that up.
There has to be a state that has that title, so it wouldn't surprise me if it were Illinois. I'd also look up Louisiana.
Wow.
Just for kicks. Moody on the Market. You can read that entire story. It's actually really interesting about what the students got to do. And very, very proud of the students for taking part in that and getting a lot of education out of it. Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. Again, you can read that at moodyonthemarket.com. Anything?
You're
going to continue
I'm
to
on
look.
it.
All
I'm
right,
on
Mike's looking, and we'll get his answer to which state has the most convicted or incarcerated governors in just a moment. It's happening right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
My name is Tammy Gould. I'm the executive director.
You're tough on the Illinois.
Yeah.
We're back on the video live stream, by the way. All right, it's 7:55. Want to thank all of you who have been tuned into the WSJM Morning Show. Again, tell your friends, tell your family. Oh, what'd you find?
Illinois.
You were right.
Yep.
What'd you find? Tell us more.
It just says if they have a full list of convicted governors.
A lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
In addition to Blagojevich, who else do we have?
Otto Kerner.
Okay.
George Otto Kerner Jr., Ray Blanton.
Okay.
Yeah, just
other Illinois people.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Any other states near contender? Do you have any of that?
I'm sure there's let's see.
So while you're finding that out,
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me that while I was in Wisconsin last week for the training, got into some very lively discussions about artificial intelligence. Boy, you raise AI in the wrong room, I tell you what.
Really?
Well, a lot of the people who are represented there come from smaller markets. They're not part of the iHearts or the Odyssey or the the big radio groups that are out there. They're small, they're family owned or employee owned, much like this operation. And I raised the thought of, okay, how are you addressing AI? And some people said, oh well, we don't really use it. Someone asked me, well, how do you use it? Well, we use it basically for transcription service. I mean, we're playing around with a couple of things. And then another person jumped in and said, we will never, ever use AI because that eviscerates your whole trust system for being local. I thought, well, okay, tell us more. And they were talking specifically about voices.
Oh, artificial voices.
Artificial voices are, AI generated.
Yeah.
And I could see some of that. I mean, we do use it. We use it here on this station.
I use it a lot. Yeah.
For some, I mean, the artificial intelligence voices for like weather.
Oh yeah.
For instance. And later in the day, not during Carrie Peugeot. Carrie Peugeot is a real person.
Oh, she is? I thought she was.
No, she's a real person.
Oh,
so
that's really blows my mind.
But it was great to see the passion, because you think about the industry, where it's gone, where it's going, and you think about, okay, well, can the industry survive? Number one, against the behemoths. Number two, against every other choice that people have out there, which is why I do sincerely appreciate people tuning in to our show.
Yeah.
And WSJM, because where else are you going to get local news if we get replaced by something else?
Yeah, drones,
your local drone news, brought to you by Amazon.
Right.
Okay. All right, we've got to get a couple of messages.
You can tell Amazon what voice you want to hear it in.
I would like to hear it in somebody I can barely understand.
That's right.
All right. Thank you for tuning in on the video live stream. It's good to be back, and we'll talk more about other stuff tomorrow on the WSJM. And again, we do have. Okay, we've run out of time, so we'll be back. Yeah, clock. Sorry, we'll be back.
Then join the fun Thursday, July 17th to race your cardboard boat creation, among others, and hope that you don't sink.
It's United Way of Southwest Michigan's Rock the Boat, presented by Honor Credit Union. Register now at rocktheboatforunitedway.com. Registration ends July 5th.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
57 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, 55 in St. Joseph, South Haven 56 degrees in St. Joseph. It feels like it's 44 degrees, but at least it doesn't feel like it's raining anymore.
No.
That was just early morning rain. It looks like we've cleared that out for now. Okay, we've got ABC World and National News, a special report on the Pope's passing. Local news next.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The world